Welcome to Working with Miniatures. I'm Jim, and today we're going to be painting the Reaper Miniatures Magic Treasure 2. It's 3 pieces in this blister pack. One is a podium gargoyle with a book on his back. There's a pile of scrolls with a skull, and then there is a stack of 4 books. We'll be using Army Painter speed paints and their war paints. Let's get to it. For the books, I decided to start at the top and paint each one with increasingly darker colors. The reasoning behind this is twofold. The first being that if any of the colors run down onto the next book, the next darker color will have an easier time of covering my overbrush. The second reason is that having the lighter colors higher up will help reinforce the zenithal spray during priming. The colors I used for priming were Vallejo's matte black, matte white, and a 1-to-1 mix of the two in between the black and white coats. With the base coats for the book's covers finished, I apply pallid bone over the pages. With the base coats now dry, I plan out the colors I will use for each level of highlights for each book ahead of time. I also do the same for the pile of scrolls I will be painting. I do this all at once so I can preemptively shake each bottle thoroughly, allowing me to move from each color without having to stop for several minutes to shake bottles of paint. Now that I have my colors ready to go, it's time to start layering on the highlights. I'll be using 2 highlights for each book, as there isn't a lot of complicated sculpting on these miniatures. I apply the first highlight, roughly 50% of the surface area, before adding the second highlight as an edge highlight and over roughly 15 to 25% of the available surface area. I repeat the same process that I use for painting the books to paint the scrolls, first laying down the speed paint base coats and then applying several layers of highlights over top. There are only 2 major differences in my approach to the scrolls versus my approach to the books. For the scrolls, I use clippers to cut the molded base back so that it fits on a larger spare base that I have. I then taper down the edges using AK Interactive's dry ground. By doing this, I can add a significantly smaller plastic base to the bottom of this sculpt. I use matte black diluted with water to add faded text. I do so by lightly stippling and hatching thin lines from various angles across the open scroll. This is the final result. I'm very happy with how the base for the pile of scrolls turned out. For lessons learned, I feel the highlighted colors I used for the scrolls and skull would have turned out better if I had mixed them for the second highlight. I may go back with the first highlight color and thin it down to a glaze, and then coat the scrolls with it. This may help blend the colors together and help reduce the starkness of the color shift. I'm also expecting it to give the faded script an even more faded appearance. As a final note, I did not include the steps for the gargoyle as I'd actually painted that miniature last October before I even considered starting a YouTube channel. That's going to wrap it up for today. I hope you learned something or were inspired to start or expand your own collection. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm Jim with Working with Miniatures. I am truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Till the next video.